On the evening of October 17, Colonel Zhang Xiaojiang, spokesperson for China's Ministry of National Defense, announced regarding recent military-related issues, the Party Central Committee has decided to expel 9 generals from the military from the Communist Party of China and transfer their suspected criminal cases to military procuratorial organs for legal review and prosecution. The 9 generals are He Weidong, member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Vice-Chairman of the Central Military Commission; Miao Hua, member of the Central Military Commission and former director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission; He Hongjun, former executive deputy director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission; Wang Xiaobin, former executive deputy director of the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission; Lin Xiangyang, former commander of the Eastern Theater Command; Qin Shudong, former political commissar of the Army; Yuan Huaji, former political commissar of the Navy; Wang Hobin, former commander of the Rocket Force; and Wang Chuning, former commander of the Armed Police Force. Previously, the Central Military Commission had decided to expel the above 9 individuals from military service. Why did the Chinese government expel these 9 generals from both the party and military service? The reason is, upon investigation, these 9 individuals were found to have seriously violated party discipline and are suspected of committing serious official crimes involving exceptionally large sums of money. The nature of their offenses is extremely grave, and their impact is profoundly detrimental. What constitutes a duty-related crime? Duty-related crimes refer to offenses committed by personnel of state organs, state-owned companies, enterprises, institutions, or people's organizations who abuse their authority to commit acts such as embezzlement, bribery, favoritism, abuse of power, or dereliction of duty. These acts infringe upon citizens' personal rights and democratic rights, undermine state regulations governing public affairs, and warrant criminal punishment under the criminal law. It is evident that the primary issues involving these 9 generals are suspected crimes of embezzlement, bribery, and malfeasance committed through abuse of authority, involving exceptionally large sums of money. What is embezzlement? Embezzlement refers to the act of a state official illegally appropriating public property through means such as misappropriation, theft, or fraud by exploiting their official position. What is bribery? Bribery refers to the act of offering money or other benefits to an entity or individual to gain improper advantages, eliminate competitors, and secure greater benefits. What is malfeasance? Malfeasance means committing illegal or disciplinary violations by deceiving others for personal connections or self-interest. From the above analysis, it is evident that the primary issues with these 9 generals were illegally appropriating public property through their official positions, subsequently bribing relevant personnel to obtain improper benefits, and engaging in illegal or disciplinary violations by deceiving others. So what were their ultimate objectives in committing embezzlement, bribery, and abuse of power? Past military corruption cases indicate the primary motives were seeking promotions and forming factions. Among these 9 generals, the first exposed was Miao Hua, former director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission and member of the Central Military Commission, for serious disciplinary violations. On November 28, 2024, media reported, Miao Hua, member of the Central Military Commission and director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission, is suspected of serious disciplinary violations. After deliberation by the Party Central Committee, it has been decided to suspend Miao Hua from his duties for investigation. On April 30, 2025, the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress issued an announcement stating that the Military Representatives Congress of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission had decided to remove Miao Hua from his position as a deputy to the 14th National People's Congress. On June 27, 2025, the 16th session of the 14th NPC Standing Committee voted to remove Miao Hua from his position as a member of the Central Military Commission. In July this year, I came across an online article titled Breaking News: Purge Miao Hua's Toxic Influence, Political Cadres Must Undergo Radical Self-Revolution. The article stated, Miao Hua formed cliques, turned political work into a business venture, exploited his position to install cronies, fostered factionalism and cliques, engaged in large-scale power-for-money transactions, sold official positions, and transformed military assets into private property, receiving enormous bribes in the process. This suggests that the issues involving the other 8 generals are all connected to Miao Hua's factionalism and selling official positions. Looking at the backgrounds of the other 8 generals, the targets of Miao Hua's factionalism and selling of official positions were primarily individuals from the 3 major units where he had previously served. The first group consists of cadres from the former Nanjing military region. After enlisting, Miao Hua served for an extended period in units under the former Nanjing military region. Following his military service beginning in December 1969, he held positions including soldier, squad leader, platoon leader, deputy political instructor, battalion political instructor, regiment political department director, regiment political commissar, division political department director, and division political commissar within the 31st Group Army. In August 1999, he became director of the political department of the 31st Group Army. In July 2005, he was appointed political commissar of the 12th Group Army, serving until December 2010 when he became director of the political department of the former Lanzhou military region. His total tenure within the former Nanjing military region units spanned 40 years. Among the other 8 generals, 5 had previously served in units under the former Nanjing military region. One is He Weidong, member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and vice-chairman of the Central Military Commission. He enlisted in the 31st Group Army in December 1972, serving successively as a soldier, reconnaissance staff officer, instructor of a reconnaissance battalion, deputy director and director of the Army's Reconnaissance Department, division chief of staff, commander of a mechanized infantry brigade, commander of a mechanized infantry division, chief of staff of the Group Army, and deputy commander of the Group Army. Subsequently, he served as Deputy Chief of Staff of the Nanjing Military Region, Commander of the Jiangsu Provincial Military Region, and Commander of the Shanghai Garrison Command, until his appointment in July 2016 as Deputy Commander of the Western Theater Command and concurrently Commander of the Army. His tenure in the former Nanjing Military Region units spanned 44 years, with nearly 40 years spent in the 31st Group Army. During Miao Hua's 6-year tenure as director of the political department of the 31st Group Army, He Weidong successively held positions including division chief of staff, commander of a motorized infantry brigade, and commander of a motorized infantry division, serving as Miao Hua's direct subordinate. Second is Wang Xiaobin, former executive deputy director of the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission. After enlisting, he served long-term in the former Nanjing Military Region's 1st Group Army, successively holding positions including Regiment Chief of Staff, Regiment Commander, Division Chief of Staff, and Division Commander. He later served as Deputy Commander of the 31st Group Army. In 2015, he was transferred to serve as Deputy Commander of the 1st Group Army. When the 80th Group Army was established in April 2017, he was appointed commander of that Group Army. In 2019, he became Deputy Commander of the Eastern Theater Command. In 2021, he was appointed Commander of the Southern Theater Command. In 2022, he was transferred to serve as Executive Deputy Director of the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission. Miao Hua participated in the decision-making processes for his promotions to Deputy Commander of the Eastern Theater Command, Commander of the Southern Theater Command, and his transfer to the position of Executive Deputy Director of the Joint Operations Command Center of the Central Military Commission. Third is Lin Xiangyang, former Commander of the Eastern Theater Command. Lin Xiangyang previously served as Deputy Commander of the 31st Group Army. In April 2017, he was appointed commander of the newly formed 82nd Group Army. In 2019, he became commander of the 72nd Group Army. In 2020, he was appointed deputy commander of the Eastern Theater Command and concurrently commander of the Eastern Theater Command's Army. Subsequently, he served as commander of both the Central Theater Command and the Eastern Theater Command. His appointments as commander of the 72nd Group Army, deputy commander of the Eastern Theater Command and commander of the Eastern Theater Command's land forces, commander of the Central Theater Command, and transfer to commander of the Eastern Theater Command were all decisions in which Miao Hua participated. Fourth is Qin Shutong, former political commissar of the land forces. He also served long-term in the former Nanjing military region, holding positions including Deputy Director of the Political Department of the 12th Group Army, Director of the Political Department and Deputy Political Commissar of the 31st Group Army. In 2015, he became Political Commissar of the 1st Group Army. When the 75th Group Army was established in April 2017, he served as its Political Commissar. He was promoted to Director of the Political Work Department of the Army in 2018 and to Political Commissar of the Army in 2022. Both his promotions to Director of the Political Work Department of the Army and Political Commissar of the Army were decisions in which Miao Hua participated. Fifth is Wang Chuning, former commander of the Armed Police Force. After enlisting, he served for a long time in the former Nanjing military region, holding positions including Regiment Chief of Staff, Regiment Commander, Division Chief of Staff, Deputy Division Commander, Director of the Equipment Department of an Army Group, Division Commander, Chief of Staff of the 1st Group Army, and Deputy Commander of the Group Army. In December 2014, he was appointed commander of the former 12th Group Army. In August 2016, he became commander of the Beijing Garrison Command, and in May 2020, he was appointed commander of the Armed Police Force. Although Wang Chuning did not serve directly under Miao Hua's leadership during his time in the former Nanjing military region, they were acquainted through various connections. After Miao Hua assumed the role of Director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission in September 2017, Wang Chuning's appointment as Commander of the Armed Police Force in May 2020 was also influenced by Miao Hua's involvement in the decision-making process. The second category involves officers from the former Navy. Miao Hua served as Political Commissar of the Navy from December 2014 until his promotion to Director of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission in September 2017. Having worked in the Navy for nearly 3 years, he was quite familiar with naval officers. Among the other 8 generals, 2 had naval backgrounds. One is Yuan Huaji, former Political Commissar of the Navy. He served long-term as a political work cadre in the Navy, holding positions including Political Commissar of a Marine Brigade, Editor-in-Chief of the People's Navy newspaper, Secretary-General of the Navy Political Department, Deputy Director of the South Sea Fleet Political Department, Political Commissar of the Naval Equipment Research Institute, and Political Commissar of the Navy Logistics Department. In March 2017, he became Political Commissar of the Marine Corps. In December 2018, he was transferred to the Air Force, where he was promoted to Political Commissar of the Eastern Theater Command Air Force. In March 2019, he returned to the Navy as Deputy Political Commissar. In January 2022, he was promoted to Political Commissar of the Navy. Second is Wang Hobin, former commander of the Rocket Force. He served long-term in the Navy, holding positions including Deputy Chief of Staff of the East Sea Fleet, concurrently serving as Deputy Commander of the Zhoushan Base, and Chief of Staff of the South Sea Fleet. In 2018, he became Deputy Chief of Staff of the Navy, and in 2020 he was promoted to Deputy Commander of the Navy. In 2023, he was appointed Commander of the Rocket Force in a cross-service transfer. The third category comprises officers from the former Lanzhou military region and the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission. Miao Hua served as Director of the Political Department of the Lanzhou military region, Deputy Political Commissar and Secretary of the Commission for Discipline Inspection of the military region, and Political Commissar of the military region from December 2010 to December 2014. Among the other 8 generals, one is an officer from the former Lanzhou military region. He is He Hongjun, former Executive Deputy Director of the Central Military Commission Political Work Department. He Hongjun served early in his career in the Xinjiang military region, holding positions including Division Political Commissar. He was promoted to director of the political department of the Qinghai Provincial Military Region in late 2012, later serving as deputy director of the cadre department of the former general political department and concurrently as director of the Bureau of Veteran Cadres. Following the establishment of the Central Military Commission Political Work Department in 2017, he successively served as assistant director and deputy director. In July 2024, he was appointed Executive Deputy Director of the Central Military Commission Political Work Department at the theater command level. During He Hongjuan's tenure at the former Lanzhou Military Region and later at the Central Military Commission Political Work Department, Miao Hua had been his superior on multiple occasions. Needless to say, he and Miao Hua were also quite familiar with each other. From the above circumstances, it is evident that among the 9 generals expelled from both the party and the military in this case, Miao Hua bears the greatest responsibility. In personnel appointments, he favored officers from units where he had previously worked and with whom he was relatively familiar, arbitrarily forming cliques, openly selling official positions, and severely corrupting the political environment within the military. The other 8 generals seeking promotion illegally appropriated public assets through their positions, subsequently bribed Miao Hua, and colluded with him to commit malfeasance and violate laws and regulations. Their offenses involved particularly large sums, extremely serious nature, and profoundly detrimental impact. Following the successive investigations and punishments of 4 former members of the Central Military Commission leadership, Guo Buoxiong, Su Kai-ho, Fang Fenghui, and Zhang Yang, between 2014 and 2018, and the removal of 2 consecutive defense ministers, Wei Fenghe and Li Shangfu, in 2024. This latest expulsion of 9 generals from both the party and the military serves as a stark reminder of the grim reality of the anti-corruption struggle. The tree may wish to stand still, but the wind does not cease. The fight against corruption within the military is an ongoing journey.